Huh? What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Overboy and I'm going to be doing my ranking for all 13 Alien and Predator movies. So I'm counting this as just one big franchise instead of doing them separate and everything. I had thought about ranking them separately, but since I reviewed them all together, I figure I'll just rank them all together. So since there's 13, I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can without making the video too long and everything. And so I'm going to go ahead and get going. Coming in at number 13 is Alien 3. I really did not care for this movie at all. This is actually really the only movie out of either one of these franchises that I actually kind of hate. It just totally ruins the ending of Aliens, which is one of the better movies in the franchise for sure. And it it could have been so much better, and everything. I didn't really like that they undid the ending of Aliens by killing off everybody at the beginning of the movie and everything except for Ripley. The entire point of Aliens is now pointless because of this movie, and it just was not a very good movie. So Alien 3 is number 13, and number 12 is AVP, Alien vs. Predator. I actually really like this one for the most part. This one is kind of a mixed bag for me, but I don't hate it like I do Alien 3. I like a lot of the action scenes and stuff. The action is great in here, and there's some cool mythology that's added to both the aliens and the predators and stuff in this movie, which is pretty cool. They add some lore to them and everything, and I love that. But my main problem is the characters, just aside from the final girl, are pretty dull and not really memorable and everything, and the kills are not super great even in the unrated version, because it's really bad CGI blood and stuff in the unrated version. It feels like they just kind of shoehorned it in that version to try to get people to stop complaining. But it's still, like I said, it's an okay movie. So it's not one of my most favorites, but it's a fun enough time. It's a fun little turn your brain off movie and everything. If I'm just wanting a fun time, this is one that I'd probably go to. So AVP, Alien vs. Predator is number 12, and number 11 is Predator 2. Well, this isn't one of my most favorites, obviously, because it's this low. I actually do think this movie is pretty underrated. Danny Glover is really good in here. He's not as good as Arnold Schwarzenegger and stuff, but he still fits the role really well, and he's likable enough. And I love the LA setting and stuff, and with it being in the 90s and stuff, it's really cheesy and stuff. It has that early 90s cheesiness to it, but I love it, and I think it's still a really fun movie and everything. The best movie in the franchise? Definitely not, but it's still a really good one. So Predator 2 is number 11, and number 10 is The Predator. This is a pretty fun movie. It's not like a super great one, but it's fun enough. There are some really weird storylines in here that I don't really fully think make a lot of sense, but for the most part, it's a fun action movie. Has a pretty decent cast in here, led by Boyd Holbrook, and I think he does a pretty good job playing the main character. But you also got Sterling K. Brown, who's kind of the human antagonist of the movie, and he's alright, but you could tell he's having fun playing the character, so he's fun to watch in here. Jacob Tremblay, Keegan-Michael Key, they're both really good in here too. Keegan-Michael Key cracks me up with his jokes, although some of them do get a little bit over the top and obnoxious and don't land, but there are some that are still really funny, especially at different parts of the movie. His banner with Thomas Jane is pretty good too, but this movie could have been better. It had a lot of issues with it. They had to rework the ending and stuff. The studio interfered a lot, like they did with Fan Four Stick. So this movie could have been a lot better, but for what it is, it's still a fun enough time and everything. So it's number 10, and number 9 is Alien vs. Predator Requiem. This is a decent sequel. I actually like this one a little more than the first one. I know I'm in the minority on that, but I think that the kills are a lot better in here, and I think the main characters are a lot better in this one. They're not like super great characters. They're kind of cliched characters, but I still had more fun with them than I did the ones in the original, and I feel like this one just was a little bit better. I will say there is some pretty dark and crazy things that they go with in this movie that I'm surprised they went there and had the balls to do, but yeah, this movie is pretty fun. I will say that it is a little too dark, like literally dark. They didn't really have a lot of lighting on set or something apparently, but it's still a fun movie, and while it's not the best in the world, it's still pretty good. So Alien vs. Predator Requiem is number 9, and number 8 is Prometheus. I absolutely love this movie. I think it's a really great story, and I love how, like, even though this is part of the Alien franchise, it doesn't feel like it is, and everything. It wasn't, I think, originally intended to be, and everything, and you could have taken the alien stuff out of it and it still would have been a really great movie. It's got a really good story. I love the whole them trying to find out stuff about like the beginning of humankind and stuff. I love that, and the cast in here is great, especially Michael Fassbender. But I love Prometheus quite a bit, so just because it's number 8 doesn't mean I dislike it. It's just because I like the other movies more, but it's still a really great one. So Prometheus is number 8, and number 7 is Alien Covenant. I think this is a really good entry into the Alien franchise and a great sequel to Prometheus. I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie. I had gone in kind of expecting it to not be very good, and there are some things about it that I don't like. There's like certain little parts of the plot and stuff that they raise more questions than they answer, but I still think it's a really entertaining movie, and it has some great performances, especially from Michael Fassbender, who is once again excellent in here. And you also got a great performance from Danny McBride, who is mostly known for his comedies and stuff, so his performance in here was really good. I don't think it's quite as good as some people say it is, but it's still really good, and it does show that he can be a really good actor outside of just doing comedy and everything. But I really enjoy this movie quite a bit. So it's not one of my most favorite movies in the franchise for sure, but it's definitely not one of the worst either. It's just kind of in the middle of the road. So Alien Covenant is number 7, and number 6 is Prey. I absolutely love this movie. This is the newest movie in the Predator franchise, and the newest movie out of either one of these franchises. It follows a young Native American woman named Naru, who is trying to prove herself to her tribe, and she ends up taking on the Predator and making it her ultimate prey. This is a really entertaining movie. I enjoyed it a lot and everything, and just because it's this slow doesn't mean I think it's necessarily a bad movie and everything. All in all, it's like the 3rd movie in the Predator franchise for me, so it made my top 3 of that franchise. But as far as both franchises go, I can't say it's one of my most favorites, but I still really liked it a lot and found it to be really enjoyable. So Prey is number 6, and number 5 is Predators. This movie really surprised me. It was one that I had seen a little bit of when it first came out and everything, but I didn't watch it all the way through because I don't even remember why, but something happened and I didn't get to finish it. But I really enjoyed this movie. I think that it's a lot of fun. It has a really great cast. Adrian Brody, who I'm not usually the biggest fan of, I thought was way better in this movie than most people say he is. A lot of people say he was miscast, but I actually liked him in this movie. I thought he was really good in here. And then you got other great performances from Lawrence Fishburne, Danny Trejo is in here, and Topher Grace gives one of his best performances in this movie. So I really enjoy Predators. I think it's a very underrated movie and everything. And I know a lot of people didn't like Topher Grace in this movie, but I think he was really good in here. And it also showed that he can do really good at playing a villain and stuff. Like this kind of made up for Spider-Man 3. Although I still wish they would have done a little bit more with him as a villain in this movie. But for what he is, he's still really good in here, and this is a good movie. And I love that this is actually set on a Predator world instead of being set on Earth too. It's one of the most unique movies in the franchise for that reason. So yeah, I'd give it. I gotta say, it's a really good one, and so it's number 5, and number 4 is Alien Resurrection. I really enjoyed this movie. This was one of the ones that was a first time watch for me, and out of the 4 original ones, this is the only one that I hadn't seen because of how much I didn't like Alien 3 and stuff. I had no desire to watch any more of them at that time, but I actually really like this one. I think it's a really entertaining movie. Sigourney Weaver is really good. It's more of a B movie and stuff, but it is a lot of fun. It's kind of cheesy and stuff, but that kind of adds charm to it and everything. It's not on the same level as some of the other movies on this list. In fact, there's actually ones that are under it that are better made and better written and stuff, but I just, on an entertainment value, I just have a lot of fun with this one. So Alien Resurrection is number 4, and number 3 is Aliens. I absolutely love this movie. I always have, ever since I saw it for the first time as a teenager. I thought it was a really great sequel to the first one. Has a lot of really great action in here. The xenomorphs look awesome. I think this is probably my favorite look of the xenomorphs in any of the movies is in this one. Sigourney Weaver is excellent in here. She's really awesome, kicks butt and takes names, and she's just great. And you got a really great supporting cast. Lance Henriksen as Bishop is really one of the highlights of the movie. I love him in here, but you also got Bill Paxton, who steals the show as this character that likes to run his mouth and stuff, but as soon as the aliens come around, he's all scared throughout the rest of the movie, and he's borderline annoying, but he's also hilarious at the same time. Like he borderline gets on my nerves, but I also find him to be hilarious, so that's the main reason why he doesn't get on my nerves. And a lot of other characters, he would have been very annoying to me and would have probably taken the movie down for me, but some reason Bill Paxton is just able to pull it off really well. And Michael Biehn as Hicks is really great too. So you have a really great cast in here, great characters, and I really enjoyed this movie. I don't have a lot of complaints with it, and I can get why a lot of people would say this is their favorite, because I know a lot of people, if they don't say the first Alien is their favorite movie, they say this one and everything. But this one is only number 3. It's not even in my top 2, because my top 2 are 2 of my favorite sci-fi. I guess you could consider both of them horror, but Predator is not as much of a horror. But anyway, coming in at number 2 is Predator. I absolutely love this movie. It is a really, really fun movie from start to finish. It has a really awesome cast in here, especially Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers. They're both really great in here, but you also got Jesse Ventura, Sonny Landham, Bill Duke, and they're all really great in here, and everybody just fits their roles really well. I love the story. It's this little simple setting, and it's really entertaining. A very, very great movie. So Predator is number 2, but my number 1 favorite movie out of the Alien and Predator franchises is Alien, the original from 1979. I absolutely love this movie. It's been one of my favorite sci-fi horror movies ever since I saw it. In fact, I'd probably even go as far to say that it is my favorite sci-fi horror movie, although I debate between this one and Terminator, because Terminator does count as a slasher movie too, so a sci-fi action slasher movie. So I really debate on whether I think this one is. I think this one is more creepy than Terminator, so I probably would say this is my favorite one. But this is a really, really great movie. It has a great cast. Sigourney Weaver is amazing in here, but you also got John Hurt, Tom Skerritt, and a lot of other great people. The Xenomorph is amazing in here, looks creepy as heck, and holds up really, really well. This movie's been out for over 40 years and still looks amazing, and it's one of my favorite movies. One of my favorite movies in general, and just really, really great time. I've always loved this movie. Ever since I was a kid, it's been one of my favorites. So Alien is easily number one. So anyway, let me know in the comments how you would rank the Alien and Predator franchises, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.